Winter is coming. Some project management lessons from the HBO TV series Game of Thrones and the world created by George R.R. Martin. This is the second part of a 3-part series. In the first part, I looked at some general principles that we can learn from the Game of Thrones storyline. And in the next part, I'll be drawing some insights from the words of some of our favourite characters. But in this part, I want to look at lessons that are buried in the words of some of the great houses of Westeros. Because each noble house has its own motto, referred to as the house words. In an early scene, we see the character Bran, a young boy, learning the house words of some of the largest and most important of the noble houses. The author mostly uses these to delineate some aspects of the characters of the leading members within the house. But they're also used in other ways. They're an important part of the story. But we can draw lessons as project managers from these words. And the obvious place to start is with the family that supplies many of the main protagonists of the story, House Stark. And their words are, "Winter is coming." And the words of House Stark are perhaps the most ambiguous. At the start of the story, I suspect that most of us thought that they warn of a predictable natural threat. The characters live in the north, an inhospitable part of the continent of Westeros. But perhaps now we're not so sure. Perhaps, like the words of other great houses, like the Baratheons, whose words are, "Ours is the fury," and the Lannisters, whose words are, "Hear me roar," perhaps the House Stark words, "Winter is coming," is not so much a prediction as a threat. But let's stick with the first interpretation, that it's simply a prediction that warns us to be careful. And recall the words of Lord Eddard Stark: "When the snows fall and the white winds blow, the lone wolf dies, but the pack survives."
When the snows fall and the white winds blow, the lone wolf dies, but the pack survives.
And this leads me to the lesson that we must be risk aware, we must prepare carefully, and we must cooperate in the face of challenges. Another of the great houses of Westeros provides more of the main protagonists. And this is House Lannister. The words of House Lannister are, "Hear me roar," and their sigil is a rampant lion. The words of House Lannister perhaps offer the clearest threat and betray preparedness to do whatever it takes to achieve their goal. Some element of that mindset is valuable to us as project managers too. So, for my next lesson, I observed that you sometimes need a fierce determination if you're to deliver a difficult project. It's the words of House Tyrell that most clearly show Martin's use of these mottos as a source of irony, because their words are growing strong. House Tyrell harks from the most agriculturally fertile part of Westeros, and their ancestors track back to House Gardner, who established the wealth of their kingdom, the Reach. But now, most of the characters from House Tyrell exhibit highly opportunistic behaviour that flies in the face of their words. And, spoiler alert, look where that leaves them. So my next lesson is that we need to play the long game and husband our resources if we want to win in the long term. House Martell of the Kingdom of Dawn also has ironic words: unbowed, unbent, unbroken. On the face of it, the simple lesson of these words is resilience. But the house may have been unbowed and unbent, but at the point the TV series has reached in the story, they are most definitely broken. So my lesson is that resilience means being able to bend and flex. Flexibility is a necessary trait of a working project manager. The last house words that I want to highlight are "we do not sow." Everybody's favourite dysfunctional Reaver family, the Greyjoys, doesn't sow, they take. Their home is inhospitable and bears little or no agriculture. So they have no wealth of their own. They don't pay in gold, they pay the iron price with the points of their swords. Look at their home. It's just barren rock. So the lesson I draw from this is you reap what you sow. Invest in doing the right things at the start of your project, and you'll harvest rewards later. And if you can spot any of your own lessons buried in the words of some of the great houses of Westeros, do tell me in the comments below, and I'll look forward to responding to them. And if you've enjoyed this video, please do hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I look forward to bringing you more project management content.